Okay folks, buckle up. Now, some stories are rumours, some are theories, and some are officially acknowledged, tracked, confirmed, unexplained. This is one of those stories. Get ready for a wild ride. The speed limit problem. There's a rule baked into the universe, a hard limit, a cosmic speed sign that says nothing goes faster than light. It's not a suggestion, it's the backbone of modern physics. Break it, and time itself starts misbehaving. And yet, for decades, military pilots have been tracking objects that don't just bend that rule, they seem to ignore it entirely. No wings, no exhaust, no heat signature. Objects that accelerate instantly, stop without slowing, and vanish from radar like they were never there. This isn't leaked footage or internet rumour. It's on record, confirmed by governments, discussed in congressional hearings. So, the question isn't, are they aliens? That's the lazy question. The real question is far more uncomfortable. What could possibly move like this? And why won't anyone explain it? Because everything you're about to hear is officially acknowledged, and none of it has an official explanation. Okay, quick grounding moment. No, this isn't a "they're here" declaration. It's sort of worse than that. It's a "we don't know what we're watching" situation. And trust me, governments hate saying that out loud. And when the phrase "no known propulsion" shows up in official documents, that's not mystery. That's someone sweating over a keyboard. Breaking the cosmic speed limit on paper. Let's start with the rule itself. Einstein's relativity says nothing can travel through space faster than light. Not rockets, not particles. Not dreams of sci-fi engines take to a PowerPoint slide. And that rule has held up beautifully for over a century. But, and physics is full of dangerous buts, the rule only applies to objects moving through space. It says nothing about space itself. Space can stretch, it can compress, it can bend, ripple, and expand. In fact, it is already doing it. During the early universe, space expanded faster than light. And not because anything broke the rules, but because the rules never applied to space itself in the first place. And in 1994, a physicist named Miguel Alcubierre took that loophole seriously. He proposed a theoretical model where a craft doesn't move forward at all. Instead, space in front of it contracts, space behind it expands. The object sits still, while space-time does the cheating. Now, to an outside observer, it would look like faster-than-light travel. Inside the bubble, no violation, no paradox, no time loops. Is it practical? Not even remotely. The energy requirements are absurd, exotic matter may be required, and the engineering challenges border on fantasy. But here's the unsettling part. The math works. Physicists don't dismiss it as impossible. They file it under not happening anytime soon. Which means physics doesn't say this can't exist. It says we don't know how to build it. And that's a very different sentence. Because on paper, physics draws a hard line and then quietly shows you exactly where the line can be stepped around. This is the part where physics feels like it's gaslighting us. It says no faster than light, ever. Then, 5 pages later, says unless space itself gets involved. That's not sci-fi, that's physics quietly clearing its throat. And no, this doesn't mean the Navy has warp drives. It just means impossible is doing a lot of unpaid overtime. The objects the military can't explain. Theory is comfortable. Paper doesn't panic. But in November 2004, theory met something else. Off the coast of Southern California, the USS Nimitz carrier strike group was running routine training exercises. Radar operators began seeing returns that made no sense. Objects dropping from 80,000 feet to sea level in seconds. No descent curve, no heat bloom, just there. Fighter pilots were scrambled. Commander David Fravor later described seeing a white, oblong object hovering above the ocean. No wings, no rotors, no exhaust. It mirrored his movements. Then it accelerated away so fast it was gone before his brain could finish processing the moment. And that wasn't an isolated event. Between 2014 and 2015, Navy pilots flying off the US East Coast reported encounters daily. Objects pacing their jets, appearing on radar, infrared and visually, then vanishing. These weren't blurry dots on a camera phone. They were tracked by multiple sensor systems designed to identify threats. And eventually, the Pentagon did something unusual. They confirmed the footage was real. They confirmed the encounters happened. They confirmed the objects were unidentified. Not aliens, not adversaries, not experimental US craft, just unknown. The reports list the same characteristics again and again. Instant acceleration, no visible propulsion, no sonic booms, and something even stranger, transmedium travel, air to sea without slowing. Modern aircraft don't do that. Missiles don't do that. Physics says doing that should tear something apart, and yet something kept doing it. The most unsettling part isn't what these objects might be. It's that the most powerful military on Earth openly admits it doesn't know what they are, only what they aren't. This is where the story gets awkward. When the military says unidentified, that's not curiosity, that's a filing nightmare with a budget attached. They really don't like unknowns in controlled airspace. And notice they didn't say no aliens, no threats, just we don't know, which somehow feels worse. Lights, missing time, and human stories. Not every mystery arrives on radar screens. Some arrive in the middle of the night. Long before governments admitted tracking unknown objects, civilians were already telling quieter stories. Bright lights hovering silently, cars stalling, radios going dead, a sense that time slipped. And then came the detail that refuses to stay buried, missing time. People reporting hours gone without memory, a drive that should have taken 10 minutes lasting 2 hours. A night that jumps from dusk to dawn with no middle. Now, these reports stretch back decades, especially to the 1960s and 70s, and they follow eerily consistent patterns: sudden silence, paralysis, disorientation, fragmented recall. Now, here's the important part. There's no physical proof that abductions are happening, none. And there are strong explanations that don't involve visitors from elsewhere. A sleep paralysis can feel absolutely real. Temporal lobe events can distort memory. Stress, suggestion, and expectation can shape experience, especially after media coverage. And that last part matters. Abduction reports surge after major UFO waves, after news coverage, after cultural moments, not before. That doesn't mean people are lying. It means the human brain is a powerful storyteller, especially when faced with something it can't explain. Whatever these people experienced felt real to them. The fear was real. The confusion was real. But experience alone can't tell us what caused it. If the military side of this mystery shows us strange objects behaving oddly, the human side shows us how deeply uncertainty affects perception. When the sky refuses to explain itself, the mind tries to. This is where things get messy fast. People hear abduction and either go full X-Files or full eye roll. Reality is usually in the middle. The brain hates unanswered questions and will absolutely invent narrative at 3 a.m. That doesn't make people stupid, it makes them human. And scared humans are very good at filling in the blanks. What governments admit and what they don't. For decades, the official position was simple. There's nothing to see here. That changed quietly and then all at once. In recent years, governments didn't just acknowledge UFOs existed, they changed the language. Unidentified aerial phenomena, then later, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP. Broader, more careful, less dismissive. The US confirmed the existence of long-running programs tasked with tracking and analyzing these objects. Reports were delivered to Congress. Hearings were held. Not behind closed doors, but on public record. And the conclusions were unsatisfying. Yes, objects are being tracked. Yes, data exists across multiple sensor platforms. Yes, some cases remain unresolved. But much of the information is classified. Methods, capabilities, and sources remain protected. Explanations are described as incomplete. That word shows up again and again. Then come the whistleblowers. Claims of recovered materials, allegations of secret legacy programs, stories of knowledge kept tightly compartmentalized. Important distinction. These are allegations, not verified facts. No physical evidence has been presented publicly. No materials independently examined. No documentation released that closes the case. And yet, the secrecy remains. Governments insist they have no evidence of extraterrestrial contact, while also declining to fully explain what is being tracked. That contradiction is where tension lives. If there's nothing extraordinary happening, the silence feels excessive. If there is something extraordinary, the silence feels inevitable. What's clear is this: the mystery persists not because of wild claims, but because official answers stop just short of satisfying. This is where everyone gets suspicious, and honestly, it's understandable. When officials say there's nothing there, but also lock the files, people start connecting dots that may or may not exist. And to be fair, governments classify everything. Sometimes it's aliens, sometimes it's embarrassing PowerPoints. The problem is, we're never told which. The mystery that won't go away. So, here we are. Physics allows ideas that look impossible, as long as space itself does the moving. Objects are officially acknowledged, doing things our technology can't easily replicate. Lights appear, encounters are reported, data exists, but not answers. And still, no proof of aliens. No single explanation that fits every case. No final reveal. What remains isn't a conclusion, it's a pattern. Again and again, reality brushes up against the edges of what we understand, and then stops. Not enough to rewrite textbooks, just enough to raise eyebrows. And maybe these objects are advanced human technology. Maybe they're sensor artifacts we haven't fully untangled yet. Maybe they're natural phenomena we don't yet recognize. Or maybe, and this is the uncomfortable possibility, our model of reality is missing something fundamental. Not visitors, not invaders, just gaps. The universe has surprised us before. It surprised us with relativity. And then with quantum mechanics. And yet again with dark matter, which we know exists, even though we still can't explain it. The lesson history keeps teaching is simple. Reality doesn't care what feels reasonable. So, maybe the real mystery isn't whether something strange is out there. Maybe it's that our understanding is still catching up, and the evidence keeps knocking away. And until someone explains how these objects move, the story isn't over. If you were hoping for a big reveal, sorry, this isn't that story. It's a reminder that we don't know yet is still a real answer. And honestly, history says that's usually where the interesting stuff starts. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And thank you so much for becoming a member. I'm hoping it will help the channel survive this horrible algorithmic storm. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And now, all my episodes are available as a Mysteria Archive podcast, which you can listen to through the YouTube Music app, which is free for podcasts, no subscription required. Happy listening. Now, this is your special place, and I want to make the videos that you as members want to see. So, let me know in the chat what interests you and what episodes I can make especially for you. Okay, my inner circle of friends. Until next time, stay safe and stay curious.